Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome to Coffee Chats. How is everybody this fine Tuesday morning as we are waiting for our snow to come our way? Yes, it's coming. Yes, indeed. All right, well, today is February 21st, and as we know, with this weather approaching, I'm just right off the bat, of course, it may change some things this week. And in regards to our excursion, I'm going to be working on canceling and rescheduling our excursion for Thursday, just foreshadowing the turn of the snow, the turn of events with the weather. Who knew? But we do live in Minnesota, so you just have to roll with the punches. I'll move on to what's happening this week, and just with this morning in Marion Hall, we have Mike Henry here. I hope you can join us if you have time. He's back again and doing his presentation on the Book of Love. And I tried to get him on the 14th, but of course he was booked. But his presentation will be on music, recordings from the 1940s and 50s and the 60s, featuring artists from Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Patti Page, the Beatles, Tony Bennett, Elvis Presley, Bing Crosby, and more. So I've heard only great things about Mike, so hopefully you can join us up in Marion Hall. In addition, on this busy Tuesday is our birthday celebration, and we have Barbara Lee will be here. She's a singer and a guitarist. She'll be here at 3:30, and of course, prior to that is our happy hour with wine and some appetizers. So come and join us up in the East Lobby today. It's starting at 3, and then 3:30 is our entertainment. And of course is our birthday meal this evening. So come join us. And then tomorrow, just a reminder that our tech has been canceled. We tried to get it in last week, it just didn't work out. We only had one class, but it does say in the newsletter we have tech. So if you had signed up or felt like you were gonna potentially just show up, it is no longer taking place tomorrow. But we do have TED Talks as usual at 1 p.m. recorded, and the 3 topics for tomorrow are our video calls, the best way you can do in the age of the metaverse, what a living whale is worth and why the economy should protect nature. And the 3rd topic is, let's see here, what do we have here? Profit of regenerating nature. So those are our 3 topics. Also, we have our 1 p.m. cribbage and open art studio. Lori, do you want to come up and share a little bit about the art studio?
Since the weather is supposed to be so nasty tomorrow, I decided I'd take my card making things out again. So if you want to make a St. Patrick's Day card or some kind of a note card tomorrow, I'll be down there 1 to 3 if anybody wants to stop by.
Great. So gracious, Lori. Thank you. How fun is that? Also, tomorrow at 7 p.m. we have bingo and 500. It's a good night to hunker down and play bingo and 500. Thursday, 9 and 11, we have a recorded coffee chats, of course. And again, the excursion will be canceled. We're just assuming that will not be able to take place, so we're going to handle that. On Friday is our 1 p.m. bridge and poker. And there is no happy hour per se. We have our Mardi Gras celebration, so I hope you're able to make it. And I'm just assuming and putting it in alignment of the stars that everything will be fine by Friday, and that our Mardi Gras celebration will take place. That starts at 3 p.m. And we have our trio, the Blue Ox Jazz Trio, joining us that day. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing their music. I've ordered some delicious cakes, and we'll have some wine and some beverages. So join us on Friday. That starts at 3 p.m. So that's my exciting thing. That's my plug. So I'll see you on Friday for that. And also we have that movie on a Friday night movie is on Golden Pond, good old on Golden Pond, starring Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn. It's a star in the family story at the New England vacation home, and their daughter visits, and it's just a lovely film. So hopefully you can join for our movie on Friday. And I think that's about it. One thing Pat reminded me. If you are ever taking the van, just be gracious and show up early so that there's no rushing. And the van can get going on time. So if there's an excursion or some type of run, just be courteous and show up 5 to 10 minutes early so that we can everything goes according to plan. So thank you so much. Jeff?
Thanks, Jillian. How many churchgoers here? Did you ride with the new van driver on Sunday? We have a new van driver. And Lori, what did you think?
He works really hard and tries very well to get you there on time safely.
Okay. It sounds like he struggled. No, he's good. He's a really, really good guy. We're looking forward to getting to know him a little better. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be driving Thursday. Did you say that?
Yes, we're canceling.
I was, anyway. We have Renee and Duncan are staying in the guest room tomorrow night, so that we have someone here on Thursday. Yep. And then we've got at least Patty and this one, Jillian, committed to being here on Thursday. I think today and tomorrow are not going to be a big deal. But am I right?
Looks good out there now.
Belinda Jensen, who I think is one of the cutest humans to walk the planet, she said the reason everyone is talking about this is we've all heard about the models. Different meteorological services have their own model. And she said every model is coming up green, which means confidence is very high. So I guess we can expect quite a bit of snow. You folks stay inside. One thing I do know from personal experience is the snow we had yesterday is a wonderful lubricant and disguise for the existing ice under the snow. We have my daughter's dog, so I was walking 2 dogs yesterday, and I fell back on the ice, and it was like I was water skiing. They held me up. That being said, it's dangerous walking. It is dangerous. Be careful, folks.
Must be big dogs.
The one is my dog is what is my dog? My dog is a Chippet. It's a cross between a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull. And he is the most beautiful dog you'll ever want to see. I show more pictures of him than I do my kids. And my daughter's dog is a Siberian Husky. So they're both big and they both pull, and for once they saved me there. Let's see. Oh, you'll be getting, you're getting a love letter from me, if not today, tomorrow, that will be asking you to renew your lease. And there will be some rate changes in there. And the ones I want to talk about today are garage is going up to $75 a month. And dinners are going to $15. I don't think we're going to raise the second person fee. But yes, those are pretty good size bumps and numbers. But also, we'd have to have our heads in the sand to not know how much things have gone up around us. And I don't like to say, oh, because our prices have gone up, your prices are gonna go up. I think the market pretty much dictates what our prices are. If we want to be competitive, we have to have competitive prices. But at the same time, we've upgraded wages. We've done a lot of things that are costing us more money on a regular basis. And hopefully you folks understand. If not, I'd love to talk to you. I think that you all know how much I love Ridgepoint. I know many of you do too. And it's just the pandemic seemed to put us in a bit of a tailspin, and we're still trying to work our way out of that. Does anyone have any questions on anything?
991.
991, we are waiting for Comcast still. They're still, they were supposed to call yesterday on the pixelating in the west building, and they didn't do that. I've got a number that I can call now, but the ball hasn't been dropped by me. Oftentimes when I stand up here, the ball is dropped by me. This isn't the case. Yes, Max.
You didn't mention how much the rent is going to be.
The rent is about a 5% increase, and some are going up more than others. If you moved in the last 18 months, odds are your rent isn't going to go up as much as the others, because odds are you've been paying more than the others in like apartments. That's how we do it. We try to be as even as possible. Like apartments pay the same amount, but over the years we've had we've offered incentives to get people in, and oftentimes that incentive is a lower rent, and we don't want to bait and switch and say, oh, you come in at $1,000 and then you're here 8 months and we raise your rent to $1,800. We don't want to do that, so we're being as fair as possible. Does that answer your question, Max? All right. Yeah.
What are the hours they can use the garbage chute?
What are the hours they can use the garbage chute?
I thought it ended at 10. We got people at 11 o'clock throwing stuff down there. I really hear it. 7 to 10.
What
Yeah, that's.
I would like to think, and yep, if we need hours on the garbage chute,
They are on there.
okay. Gosh, I would like to think we don't need hours. I mean, just from a respect for your neighbors and stuff, if we're going to choose to use the garbage chute at 11 o'clock at night, maybe we're a night owl, I guess that happens, but I also, it can't be every night. I mean, how often?
A couple times a week. Yeah,
A couple times a week.
They can wait 7 hours.
yeah they can.
Guess what? They can just set it in the room.
Yeah.
And someone will throw it down the chute. There's ways that we can all do that. I don't know. We'll if there's signs in there. And here's the other thing too. There are no signs in there? Okay. I heard someone say there are signs. How do we know that the hours are 10 o'clock then?
Because you all said that when we moved in before.
I guarantee you I have never talked about the time that the trash chutes close.
We discussed it several years ago and put up signs, the council did, and somebody took the signs down as soon as they were put up.
There we go. We did put signs up once and they got taken down as soon as they were put up.
But it is in your,
It's in the resident handbook?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put new signs up. How's that sound? I'm gonna do a first here. Jessica, I know you're watching. please make signs that the trash chutes close at 10 o'clock.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Do we all love Jessica? Yay!
Jeff,
Yeah.
gonna build another snowman?
We are not going to build another snowman. The snowman looks like crap out there, doesn't he? I think he's got osteoporosis.
Come back.
Or is it a female? The Rebel. I forgot the name, Rebel. Okay, let's do birthdays quick, and then we've got Ralph Van Dixhorn is going to share his. Sandy, do you have a...
Yes, I think we should put a sign out by the snowman that says, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up."
Or Sandy says we should put a sign up by the snowman, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up." Or we could go put a pendant around its neck and have a sign for lifeline. Lifeline. Okay, next year, this is what we got planned. I beg you, go to the Minnesota Department of Transportation website and look at the contest names for the snowplows.
Oh, yes.
Did I read those last week? I swear,
Hysterical. Well, you read
loss of memory is contagious. Here I sit, not remember what the hell I did.
It was in our meeting.
Oh, it was in our staff meeting.
Yes.
Thank you. They are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Next year, Rich Point's going to win the contest. All right? You name a snowplow each year. Okay, I saw someone else's hand, I think, or didn't I? Yeah, Maxine.
This isn't a question, it's a statement. I would hope that people that sign up for excursions, and if they decide for whatever reason they can't go, that they would call and cancel. Because last week when we went to the ladies' lunch, at least 25 people had signed up and there was only 16 people on the bus. And there were other people that if they knew that there was an availability, they would have come along. But because people didn't cross their name off, a lot of people didn't get to go.
And here again, we're kind of preaching to the choir. Did you have something to add on that before I do?
My suggestion is they should put numbers, telephone numbers, a 4-digit number next to their name when they sign up, and the night before, concierge calls and reminds them. And if they don't respond, then it's open to somebody else. This happens every time I've ever taken that lunch thing. Half the people don't show up, and you don't know if you're waiting for them, or if they just forgot, probably forgot more than anything.
Yeah, there's a couple suggestions there. One I would speak to is we're not going to call. If
Will you repeat what they said?
people on last Saturday is a good example. There were 25 people that wanted to go to the ladies' lunch. The van takes 21. 16 went, so that means that 5 canceled. And none of
Show up.
or didn't show up.
Yeah, they just sleep through, etc.
Very good point. They didn't cancel, they didn't show up. And that's not fair. And so the people that didn't make the cut wanted to go, but they didn't go because they didn't know there was a spot. Now, one thing that I am thinking about, and maybe you have a, what do they call that? A standby line. I don't know, if you want to go and you didn't make the cut, you go sit in the lobby, we load it up, and then if there's a spot, there's a spot. But at the same time, I think Sylvia's point is well taken. She says, let's get a commitment from people the day before.
I'd suggest they save the sheet signed up. Save it, blackball those that don't show up.
There we go. We can punish the people that don't show up.
We can keep track of it.
In fact, do we have Saturday's list? Let's get them up here and let's publicly shame them right now.
Just charge them $20.
Better yet, let's get a cage out there and have lions, and we'll feed them to the lions.
Use them as a model for the snow.
Especially if they've given notice to vacate, then we will feed them to the lions. Emil, we could charge them. Yep. We could charge them.
No.
I think that, I would hope we're bigger than that. And, but a lot of that stuff is the price of poker. When we're gonna have all these people and we're gonna do stuff, things are gonna break down sometimes. And the people that didn't show up for ladies' lunch, they're not bad people. They forgot, no doubt. But, and oftentimes, they feel worse about forgetting than we are mad about them not showing up. So we have to understand everyone. And that's not always easy, and it's sometimes takes a little effort. But we didn't decide anything, did we? I can give Jessica a message right now if you want.
Jessica's not here on Saturday.
Friday,
Oh, no exercise on Friday. Okay? Because on Friday afternoon,
I'm running to go get cakes.
yes, Mardi Gras. It's Fat Tuesday, isn't it?
Well, it's here.
Today? And what are we going to celebrate on Friday? Mardi Gras? All right. So, we have that to look forward to. One other thing, happy birthday to my lovely wife. Yep. I know how old she is, but if I told you, she'd kill me, so I'm not going to. Yeah, tomorrow is Janet Allen's birthday, and on the 23rd, Bernie Becker. Bernie Becker moved 2 days ago. So let's sing happy birthday to them. Ralph, you can work your way up, and you'll be talking after we sing. Oh, Joanne Cox.
I know in the exercise room, the TV remote is missing. And I have this good opportunity to ask people to look in their pockets and see if it's there. I have no idea.
Okay, sometimes we get good suggestions, sometimes we get not so good suggestions. But Joanne Cox tells me that the remote from the exercise room that has the equipment is missing. And we should all check our pockets right now to see if it's there. And if we've used it or have it, bring it back. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. All right, Ralph Van Dixhorn has graciously accepted our invitation to give us a little bit of information about him. Here you go, Ralph.
Well, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Excellent.
I'm doing this to try to encourage others to do the same. I'm really interested in some of your stories that you have, and I think, I hope this is just a little nudge to help you do your own story. Well, I'm Ralph Van Dixhorn, and I've lived here at Ridge Point for the past 7 years at 801 East with my wife, Beverly. I was born to Dutch immigrants, both of whom came to this country as children with their parents in the early 1900s. So in a sense, I am a first-generation American. I am the oldest of 9 children, born to John and Lina Van Dixhorn. One regret I have is that I never learned the Dutch language when I had teachers living with me 24/7. When my parents wanted to talk to each other without the children listening in, they spoke to each other in Dutch. My father was a milk hauler, which meant that he picked up cans of milk from dairy farmers and took them to the dairy bottling company in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. That was the days before refrigeration, and dairy farmers cooled the milk from their cows in tanks of well water. This milk had to be collected and sent to the bottling company daily, or it would sour and be worthless. As a young boy, during the summer months, I would often ride along with my father on his milk route. I suppose this was how I early in my life developed an interest in agricultural science. I don't remember a lot about my grade school, but I was the first child in my family to go to school. In a way, I was the pioneer for the rest of my siblings. I was very shy and didn't make friends easily. But in first grade, I did remember that I won a spelling bee. Even today, I'm a stickler for correct spelling. And I won't send out an email unless I go over it with a fine-tooth comb to correct any misspelled words. And when I receive a letter with misspelled words, I cringe. Could this obsession with correct spelling be traced to my first grade?
Yes.
My family lived on a small acreage outside the city limits of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. That was the days before school buses and school districts. Since we didn't live within the city limits of Sheboygan Falls, the township had to pay for the education of the children living within that township. But it was up to the parents to get the children to school. So in the warmer months, we walked to and from school, which was about 1.5 miles each way. And I was dreadfully afraid of dogs. I had to pass by residents on my way to school that had dogs that seemed to love to scare the living dickens out of whoever was walking by on the road. They all seemed to take great delight to come charging out of their kennels to the edge of the road, barking their lungs out. I was sure at any moment they'd be crossing the road to bite me. Sheboygan Falls High School did not have courses in agriculture, but I heard about 4-H clubs. And I was instrumental in starting one in our rural area. It allowed me to exhibit for several years my 4-H project at the county fair. And my project was a young heifer. And 4-H gave me the opportunity to experience other activities like the forestry camp at Eagle River, Wisconsin, and others. My mother would not allow us boys to play football, that was 6-man football, because she was afraid of injuries. But I learned to love basketball. But I wasn't very good at it. My body wasn't designed to be swift. So gradually, I began to concentrate on academics. I love to read, and I think I read every book in our school library by Frank Buck, made famous for bringing wild animals alive back to the United States. Of course, my interest in agriculture, given my interest in agriculture, there was really only one place to go for college. That was the College of Agriculture at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, Wisconsin. I took every course that had some relation to agriculture, including a welding course at the School of Mechanical Engineering. As extracurricular activities, I joined the meat judging team and later the livestock judging team. It was at the University of Wisconsin that I met my wife Barbara, who was in Madison as a nursing student. There is one other factor that had great influence on my life. That was the person of God. My family was of a Reformed pietistic tradition, and as a young person, I struggled to make sense of my relation to God. It was at the University of Wisconsin that I made an intentional decision to become a follower of Jesus Christ, the Messiah. After graduation and marriage, I taught agriculture for a few years, and then in 1960, we volunteered with a church mission to work with Andean farmers in the highlands of Ecuador. We ended up serving there for 12 years and came back in 1972 because of our children's education. Back in the United States, I taught agriculture in various venues and places, first in a technical school in Wisconsin, and later with the Agriculture Extension Service in Iowa, and last of all, in Minnesota. Upon retirement, I had the chance to work for the Federal Extension Service in Ukraine for 9 months in 1997-98. So Barbara and I were stationed in Kyiv. We were living in Princeton, Minnesota at the time, and in 2001 we moved to Minnetonka to be nearer to our daughter. In 2011, Barbara died in her sleep of chronic heart failure. I never expected to be in such a situation. In fact, some of my male friends warned me to beware of women who would try to get my attention. I had decided that I wasn't going to get married again. It was at the end of a meeting that I was attending that a woman came up to me and asked me if she could take me out for a cup of coffee. I was both shocked and amused. I went out for coffee with her at an arranged time, but it was the first and last time. I decided that I would do the asking from now on. And I did ask various women, making it clear right from the beginning that this was just for female companionship. Minnesota Minneapolis is a great place to take people with its array of restaurants and musical venues. And then I met Beverly, and the rest, as they say, is history. Thank you. I guess this is the end. Any questions?